Here it is, day 1, video 1. My name is Nakia. I legit just created this channel to chronicle some things that me and my twin sister are going to be doing over the next 13 weeks. I figured, why not document it so we have something to look back on, so we can really share our progress. I'll give you more details as time progresses, because I'm really just going to do this very simple blog style, no zhuzhing or anything special, just sharing what we're doing and sharing some of our thoughts. Here we go. You gotta restate your question. You can't just jump off where you were.
Right. So the preface is we have a pattern of starting a side project. Like we get started with all this enthusiasm and gung ho, and it lasts about 30 days. You know what I'm saying? And then like at a certain point, like then it kind of like wanes off, and then it's like, I don't know if it's shiny object syndrome or what have you, but I feel like we're so good at so many things that like the potential for us to be like really good at being fit is awesome. You know what I'm saying? So like, okay, so what are you afraid of getting when you get fit? Like that's something to think about. Like make peace with that. Like, and everybody's afraid of something.
So let's speak for yourself. Like we were saying when I was driving up here, that you lost what was like 150 pounds in a year. With, well, I mean, yeah, you say slowly, but it was like a year. You know, so it was a gradual, healthy thing, or what have you. I would hazard a guess that there was a little bit of emotional trauma going on at the time, just knowing what was going on in your life at the time, and just a way for it to to cope. But
there's a lot of emotional trauma around that, and it's really scary because I don't want to be there ever again, and I haven't been. And it was such a lonely time, and like you were such an encouragement to me. Like you don't know how much, like our little conversations, like just really kept me going. Like I always felt like so much more relaxed when we talked. I remember like, I'm talking to Kia, I can go have me a good poop. Like yeah, one of the main things that like I attributed to my weight loss was I changed my relationship with food. I learned to stop myself when I wanted to emotionally eat, and just managing what I had access to, and just turn on my little ultimate cheapskate type of situation. Like I don't need that. I got food at home. Like yeah, I just have to. I'll make do with what I have there. Like and. So I mean, it's a lot of little things that went together to make that, and so it's like I know, like you can't tell me nothing after I lost 150 pounds. Like if I lose like 80 more pounds, like you know what I'm saying? I already think I'm fly. Just that my ego would just be so overblown or whatever that I wouldn't be the cool and awesome person that I am, or that my hugs will be bonier and it won't be as comforting when I wrap my arms around somebody.
You know, the awesome thing about your hug isn't
my squidgy bits.
This is your squidgy bits. This is your sexy bits.
I keep my sexy bits covered.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now.
Don't make me mad,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I have learned that, like, casual nudity is very disconcerting to me.
Yes,
So,
not in our communal living situation, but thank you for sharing that. I mean, no, legit, it's a valid question, and having the tendency to start and stop things, and like, I think that's definitely something we're going to have to dig deep into, is like what makes this time different. Like, what about this time? Because it feels different, and emotionally and personal development wise, we're in such a different place now than probably we've ever been in our whole life, like everyone is right now.
right.
Because today is the first day like today that anyone has ever experienced, right? Today is
Right. It's brand new.
right. It's brand new to everyone. It's brand new to everyone. And everyone is experiencing it differently. And so I thank you for asking that question. I'm gonna mentally ruminate on that, you know, myself, and because I was thinking about that in my conversation with Nella. But well, I'm gonna cut this out. It's not. I'm gonna whatever. Okay, fine. I'll pause it. I felt like when we were talking about the letter to myself from my past self, and like I got teary-eyed because I was thinking about all the things that
you didn't do,
right, that I haven't done, or that I let so much time pass. Well, really, it's not that much time in the grand scheme of things. It's not. And how much could I have accomplished had I stuck with it? Like, and like, part of me wants to like chase down that rabbit hole. Another part of me like, you know what, the study of that at this point doesn't
benefit you.
Right. It doesn't benefit me. It doesn't serve me, and so I don't necessarily want to give it any energy other than to recognize that that has been a pattern in the past. And another, you know, pattern that I've begun to develop, more habit-wise that I've begun to develop, is like regularly plugging into some level of personal development from people who, at least in that aspect of what they're teaching me, has what it is that I want.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So be it a successful marriage, or at least feel good about their relationship with their kids, because I think every family has its own level of dysfunction.
Of course.
Right. And so finding your own balance of what that looks like, and kind of being able to just move through that and kind of keep it moving.
Yeah.
But I do feel like this time is different, and I have more. I've told myself in the past, I'm teachable, right? And totally not.
Well, I mean, all of us have, but see, we're all teachable for things that interest us. You know, if you're like, oh, that's interesting, let me go into that, you're teachable. But when it's like, I don't really want to do that, but you know what I'm saying?
That's such a good point. There's a saying that everybody wants big goals until it comes to making the sacrifices or the changes that it requires to make them a reality for yourself. And so, like, okay, what is that? Like, where is my line? Like, because I mean, you've seen me over the past couple of days. I've been just like, I'm almost barely sleeping. I'll get to sleep.
So
I get a good like 6 hours, and I'm like, bam, I'm up, and I'm like working on the things and the different classes and things that I'm putting together, and getting systems and whatnot in place, and really excited about that. And then it's like, okay, like, so, and my own internal dialogue becomes, all right, so. And so it goes back to building habits, right? So, because at this point, I've got 166-day cycle of taking my supplements regularly. So now, like, almost without even thinking, bam, I'm taking my regular supplementation, right? And it's probably why I haven't gained weight during quarantine. I haven't lost I think I've battled around these like same 5 pounds.
Yeah.
But 66 days of taking my supplements, and then almost I'm 10 days away from finishing 66 days of just 10 minutes of yoga or stretching.
Okay.
Right, which is what got me into saying, okay, let's do the 13-week program. Let's follow that calendar. Let's follow the eating guide, and let's just see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. And so committing to the process, regardless of the outcome, is the
goal.
Right. So the goal is not necessarily weight loss. It's to become healthier.
Yeah.
And
but to get into that 13-week habit,
right,
is the biggest right now that's the
focus.
challenge. That's the focus to do that. That's your goal, is to get through the 13 weeks as a habit and consecutively doing that for 13 weeks.
Right. And to document.
Yes.
To go ahead and they're not pretty. Most of the time, if I'm gonna do a video, my face is beat. My locks are nice or what have you, and kind of just being willing to share the journey and the conversations that we have. And honestly, sometimes it's the conversations that we can have out loud that are even that much more impactful. And it's like, okay, so like that thought process, and journaling as well. So one thing is like, ink it, don't think it. Like, go ahead and write it down. And sometimes you can see the lie in whatever is your thought process is when you write it down. It's like, nobody loves me. That's a lie. A lot of people love me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm fat. Well, I have fat. I'm not fat. Yeah, I'm carrying an extra weight on my body, and it's a result of the choices and actions or inactions that I've taken throughout my life. And I'm so blessed that I am still legit the healthiest, morbidly obese person walking the planet.
Yeah.
Other than that cycle, that period of my blood pressure being high, or have you? I don't know. I'm so hard. I recognize I have been so hard-headed, in my lifetime. I think even as I think back on that, it's like, okay, Nakia, your blood pressure was so high you couldn't even get dental work done, and that didn't put a boot in your ass to do something different. But I don't know. I wasn't in the space. I worked on, and didn't want to take meds or any because.
Well, the biggest thing with that is that you didn't feel bad.
I didn't know I felt bad.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the scariest part.
But see, that's why it's always called a silent killer.
Right.
But see, had you felt bad, that would have been more of a kick for you. You understand what I'm saying? Because for me, even when I had high blood pressure, and before I had my kid, mine was an ongoing high blood pressure. But again, back then, two things were different. One, the numbers for high blood pressure were significantly different than it is now. One is 120/60, what is regular blood pressure, or maybe over 70. But then it was 140/80, where that is actually high blood pressure.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's one thing. But see, I felt bad, but again, I was working a full-time job. I had a child that's autistic. My son was in sports, and my husband worked,
3 jobs.
Exactly. So it's weren't you tired? Heck yeah, I was tired.
Who's not tired like that?
It's exactly. I'm a mom and I work all day. What?
No. Isn't everybody tired?
Yeah. I thought this was just the normal.
But see, that's the scary thing though, because the way I feel now, because regular supplementation, regular drinking water, getting good sleep, the simple foundational bits that I wasn't doing before, but now that I've been doing it on a somewhat regular basis, I see a significant difference in how I feel.
Yeah.
So I can't necessarily quantify the difference in how I feel now that my blood pressure is regulated versus how I felt before.
No.
But I'm just saying, I know that there's a difference.
Okay.
Right.
But you feel a difference now.
Right, but I didn't perceive the difference before because it had come on so gradually that it just was what it was.
Yeah, but see, that's what I was saying. It's that was a kick in the pants because you didn't feel
right
like crap.
Yeah,
and again, I was having the issues with my blood pressure. I was going to my doctor literally every week, having my blood pressure checked before I went to work. But my blood pressure wasn't high then. After I go to work,
Right.
and I come home, my eyes are bloodshot and I'm exhausted. You know, and really even after it wasn't until my kidneys had failed and I went to go have my biopsy. My doctor was looking at me like, "Why are your eyes red?" I was like, "Well, I just came from work." And he was like, "Who the hell told you to go to work?" No one told me not to. You know, but you know, and really before they took my blood pressure, then I mean, it was high, but it wasn't like, you know, put you in the hospital high.
You're gonna have a stroke.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't until that happened that, oh, there's something serious going on. But you know, and I remember very distinctly because I was supposed to go to a convention in Charlotte that weekend, and I still laugh because it's like I'm coming out of the hospital, and I was like, well, I'll just leave tonight and go to tomorrow. And Eric's looking at me like, you just left the hospital. You're not going anywhere. And I'm like, but he goes, I feel fine now. He's like, do you understand that they said that you're about to have a stroke? I was like, yeah, but I feel better now. You know, and I mean, honestly, that was my thinking. I feel better now. I can keep going.
Do all the things.
Yeah, because unless you feel bad, you're not going to stop what you're doing. And so that's why sometimes I've said that the Lord will, you know, your body will say, okay, you might want to sit down somewhere. No, I'm good. I'll keep going. You might want to sit down somewhere, and it's tapping you on your shoulder.
Tapping my leg.
Yeah, I'm tapping you. And like you might want to sit down. And you're like, no, and then all of a sudden, you know, you can't get up.
Gentle messenger, harsh messenger.
Exactly, and it's like, okay, I told you to sit down somewhere. Okay, since you're not listening, this is what's going to happen, and then you're down for, you know, a couple of weeks because your body kept telling you, but you weren't listening.
Yeah.
And see, that's why I think all of us need to, you know, and Nicole says this all the time, it's like, listen to your body. But, you know, again,
That's a good point. I have to give her credit for that. That is her gifting there.
Yeah, but I've always had this mentality. It's like, I got to get stuff done. You know, and I'll stop when I finish what I'm trying to get done.
Yeah.
You know, but see, I mean, the blessing for me right now is that I'm not having to do a whole bunch of running around. You know, you know.
This 3 weeks to the gallon is glorious. I'm just saying.
But yeah, so you know, what I was also going to say is it reminded me of my ministers talking yesterday about how, you know, you were saying it's not until you reminded me of the story about someone coming up to Jesus and, you know, what do I need to do to get into heaven? And he was like, you know, how you follow the commandments. He goes, I've been doing that since I was a child. He's like, okay, well, you know, give away all your stuff and follow me. And because he was a, you know, relatively, you know, affluent person, he was like, I'm not giving up all my stuff. You know, that's not, you know. So the moral of the story is, it's like, you know, what do you have to give up to continue, you know, on this path? And it was, the price in his head was too high. So that also goes back to, what are you, you know, what is, you know, you were talking about, where's your line? You know, what is it, you know, where can you go up to? So I was going to ask you, what are your 3 things that you're trying to accomplish right now that are, you know, that are significant? Because you have a lot of stuff, like you said, you have a lot of stuff going on. You're teaching and all this stuff, and you're doing the war on debt, and you're doing, you know, real estate, and you're trying to get people into the office, and you're trying to do this, and I'm like, I honestly don't. I know what you do, but I don't know what you do. You know what I'm saying? You're doing so much. I can't keep track of everything that you're doing. So that's why I'm trying to at least, you know.
You take the real estate stuff. You say like that. Legit. You take the real estate stuff off my plate. Like, or if I, you know, line up some real estate things or what have you, and once I secure it, and I
handle
honestly,
it all.
And I don't think about it anymore, and like I don't go back in at it. Unless you say, hey, can you look at this? Or can you help me? Like, you do pretty much all of that. All the coaching stuff, as far as productivity coaching, of course, I do all of that at this point. Still working to get, I'm looking for, so I've been working with the #1 productivity coaching program in our ecosystem.
Okay.
To build out our systems and processes foundation. So right now I have a proven system to help brand new agents
Succeed.
cap in 8 months.
Okay.
Right? All they have to do is accelerate their activities to shorten that time period.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 4 pieces of business in the first 30 days.
Okay.
Right? And I'm still looking for someone who's willing to follow the plan.
Okay.
I have the agents, that are in the plan right now who are, whatever, they frittered off I call, email, text, leave voicemails, leave video messages, like all of that, and no responses. Oh, I can continue to try to chase them down, or I can go look for other agents who are actually hungry, who are like, oh, you know what, I really need that change. Yeah. And so that's where, where my focus is, and finding the new. And the other ones, I find those 3 agents who are going to grab onto this program and run with it. Mm-hmm. Then everyone else would be like, holy crap, why was I, give me some of that or whatever. And so and that's honestly, it's a mind game. It's a mindset exercise every day. Yeah. To get up out of the bed and that's why I have that morning affirmation with Dr. I think it's Shannon Ivy. Mm-hmm. Ivor. Anyway, she doesn't say her name in the morning affirmation. She just starts talking. And that's how I wake up. Mm-hmm. How I get out of bed. Because getting to sleep at a decent hour, I wake up, I gain consciousness. I'm laying there in the dark wondering what time it is because I don't have anything where I can see what time it is. So I'm just kind of laying there doing, just breathing. And then I'll hear that start. Mm-hmm. And it's where I have to get up out of the bed to turn it off. Yeah. And I'm going to make sure I get to it quickly so it doesn't wake up Troy because he didn't like waking up to my alarms.
Did I hear about that this morning?
Did you hear about that? So, and do that. So this morning I came out and I wrote my letter to myself for next year. Mm-hmm. I journaled a little bit. And then 5:15, I went to go wake up Troy. So I come on, you want to do the wake up workout with me? And he didn't respond. I did go ahead and do it by myself in our room. Mm-hmm. And then actually before I went into the room, I said, Nicole, all right, I'm going to go do wake up with Troy. I'll be back in 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. So 5:35, I'm out here getting ready to do that workout because it's like 22 minutes. Okay. So I did that with Nicole and then finished up my letter and kind of started on the day. And my goal is to follow my schedule, because if you'll see, I haven't put my exercise on the schedule because I don't want it pinging on your phone because you're on my schedule too, but just in my written planner, between 5:15 and 5:30 each morning, it's 10-minute yoga with Troy. Mm-hmm. Between 8:30 and 6:15 is yoga with Nicole or morning walk. Mm-hmm. And then have water, breakfast, follow the phase 3 eating paradigm, which is it kind of spreads things out, right? So you're, you eat your breakfast. Your breakfast is in 2 stages. Some fruit, and 30 minutes later, complex carbohydrate or protein and water.
Or protein?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Or protein, healthy fats, and vegetables. Then mid-morning snack, half a serving of protein. Then lunch is a huge salad with all kind of vegetables and protein. Mid-morning snack again is half a serving of protein and 1 boiled egg and some celery sticks as an example. So vegetable and protein, and then dinner is more vegetables and protein. See, and plenty of water.
That's where I have no problem with breakfast. I have no problem with dinner.
Lunch
is my biggest thing.
That's a thing
because I'm not always hungry. Right. Number one, and when I do get hungry, it's closer to almost dinner time. Right. It's like 2:00, and I feel like kind of peckish, and I need to eat something. Right. And I know I need to eat protein. Mm-hmm. Well, at least for me, I need to eat protein first. Right. Because I don't have space for all that. Yeah. So, and it's like, because most of the stuff that I would eat, protein wise, would be on a piece of bread. You know what I'm saying? Right. It would be I'd have a bologna sandwich or
So grab some romaine. Yeah. And do that so that
I was actually gonna eat some salad last night. They'd already put it in the bag, and I was like, okay, I'll get someone. I finished that. And I was like, let me just lay here for a minute. And the next thing I know, I wake up and it's like midnight, and my mouth is dry. So no, it was like 10 something. My mouth is dry. I came out here to get water, and that's when I saw Elliot, and I put him in the kennel.
Thank you.
So yeah. Because then you see, we're sitting here, and he's sitting there gnawing on the couch.
I know, but I mean, just I try not to. So when we're talking about, whatever, go ahead and put the camera on to record, and I'll go in and cut some things together for our episode, and then track my food, use my fitness pal to track my food, get my exercise in, and just take it day by day. Take some time with Troy, take some time with the girls, take some time with you and Nicole, so we can work on the initiative that we're all working on together, and keep them moving forward. And so the team reflecting plan, I can probably email this to you, so you can look over the questions, and think about what it is that needs to happen, and we're just breaking it down, looking just at August. So these next 30 days, this calendar month, and then this week, where's your time going? And then you can start to use anything you want to track. All right, how much time am I spending on TikTok? How much time am I spending in my email? And how many people have I keep a little tick mark check, or the index cards on my desk for contacts. How many people am I actually talking to? Because I made my deal with my coach that I have to make a contribution to a political party I don't support if I don't get my contacts, and I'm not doing that.